This is the Epic Morning Show, and in the studio with me, I get to meet two guests, the Malfa Saidu Bangra from government and Honorable Abdul Karim Kamar from the opposition All People's Congress. And this morning, we'll dig into the economy. Let me start with you, Alpha Saidu, because 5 years on, I remember 2017, 2018 during the campaign, one of Una mantra was the bread and butter, that Una can fix them and make sure Una focus on that, which was really about cost of living. 5 years on, how you think Una don't perform in that particular sector of the economy?
Thank you very much, Jawad. My family, ado. My pattern, I believe, say, una go don't know now that anything they discuss, any issue, law define for us. Waiting a bread and butter. Bread and butter issues them. Now issues that they save pussy money. They put money in your pocket so that you will take that money there for put food on your table. Okay? Now, again, I repeat this. The economy of this country, no day outside President Bio one time. It get challenges. It get problem.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how you waiting will be the rating where you go give on how una don't
10
perform?
being
10 being the highest.
About 4.
4 over 10.
Yes.
Now una
Okay,
don't do.
Yes.
Okay, that means that is failure.
Yes, we don't fail.
Now the economy.
Yes, what in do. Now, because the previous administration, I don't tell you, say, well, the campaign, this campaign, will first of all tell the people who meet the country where the commissions of inquiry can prove baffled, almost, and what we don't do, so that the people are able to see the difference. Okay, and let the people understand, say, the APC not even getting moral authority for
on the question
anything.
Of cost of living.
Okay, now they tell you
now.
they tell you. Okay, we can meet a rotten economy. Economy where show say they don't thief everything. Don't do we no meet. We get for begin tension. We get for begin pick and gun. When you get for rebuild, it hard pass if you don't go begin new one. Because it involves a huge amount of things. Money, effort, planning, everything. To borrow the words of Samuel Kamara, the way they be left the country, it's not possible let anybody take 5 years for fix up. He made that point clear. Okay? Now, I dey give certain areas them who side the SLPP don't handle bread and butter issues.
Yeah, go on.
Before now, parents and guardians begin for pay school fee. They begin for buy books. They begin for the struggle for transport for them picking them for go school. To the point you are in where you picking go junior secondary school. If you not get at least 4 million loans, you not going to go to that school day. Okay? Now, because of the policies and the trend where President Julius Maada Bio don't put on the free quality education, parents then they save their money then they.
Yeah, whilst yes, parents they save somewhere, but still a problem of high admission where picking one go from 1, where picking they go SS1. Still in our schools.
I don't know what you mean by that. I wish you for be explain or give me evidence because we will lack evidence. Now,
I'm sure parents will call later and go tell you say
tell you now,
they pay millions for letting picking them be admitted in schools. Okay.
I want that parents will go show me the school who that he give the money. Then let's see what he me they do.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I be don't tell you now the last time I go talk and back. What in the free education mean? I don't want to say anything they talk. Lord define them. Because now the definition will make you understand them. It means say the Pekin get placed in school.
The definition is not in contention.
No,
we understand the definition.
Wait me. That Pekin get placed in school. Nobody no good get back. So all the things now where now the parent or the guardian they provide them. Nothing the way no actually they determine if the Pekin go school. They're not good get back for that. So if for example, where you go, you picking go the first day, then go ask you for buy some school materials. Not also like sometimes uniform or sometimes books or other book there. If you know able to buy and that picking still go school, you go wear collar clothes, you go school. Okay? Now, if any headmaster or principal go put body in a head, can't tell we.
Okay.
I have had and seen circumstances them where like me, so I don't go to that school there. Where you go, where you ask the principal, if they say and I like the person they like.
Then on one side where you say government don't make sure parents they don't save money. What's the second side? Okay,
the other side, Napa well body business, hospital business. Now, don't forget say when President Bio be the campaign, he talk and say if he win, he can't invest on the people of Sierra Leone. human capital development. And it take key areas, and one of the areas in the now well body business. What it first do? Because it don't increase with revenue base, because it don't bring this single treasury account, where now all things they go to one place. That 6% where the previous administration be the put by health business money and together, now we don't make it to almost 13%. So if you go now all them government hospital, you will see say they are all up and running.
Okay.
Government also
let me count
they
honorable.
bring medicine them at cost recovery price. So that medicine be they go by dia trade. Now you never so again. All that are the bread and butter issues than that.
All right, let me come to Honorable AKK. I'll come back to you, Alpha Saidu. You don't hear even 5 years on, according to Alpha Saidu, still a blame una young government.
Not to blame them.
No, it can't.
This side they left the country.
But this come from you.
Now they would begin.
It come from
you.
No,
I just want to make the point no more. When you say blame, so say one thing like for say na lie pande.
No. I mean, nobody not talk about true or lie na it. Okay. I just say what you say. So okay. Honorable, I mean 5 years on, the blame on USA we deal with the economy is still being put on una young tenure. What's your assessment of how the government don't perform over the last 5 years?
Thank you very much. I think the first two I go big for na total decorum na the studio, because you see I was not here when he was making statement literally, because our people understand what they say and our people understand what it don't really happen. After they say, first of all I want to tell and thank you for a bold step of confession. Say in a scale of 10, though they not deserve to get 1, but instead of not say them fail in the economy. That's a bold step, and that's what we expect of moral, upright people for do in a society. It make measure of many things, and one of them being the audit service and the COI. La put that one to rest right there. In 2021 alone, after Saidu in government, waiting and thief with the audit service said in thief, now 187 billion, the highest in 1 year. When you compare that one to 10 years of waiting audit service report of the APC in Orange, the amount they go and check the records. And you know there is difference between corruption and sacrilege. Waiting the SFP don't do in this country in the last 5 years when it comes to corruption and mismanagement of funds, na sacrilege. Sacrilege in the sense that now the first time in the history of Sierra Leone for the office of the president forge receipts. We have to do with international standards. You know that one day it water down the expectations of the ordinary people when it comes to the fight against corruption. For me now at that point, you understand, I know say I've asked to them for the shame for talk about accountability when it comes to audit service. And what's more painful, instead of you get a situation where the presidency constitutes investigation within the office of the presidency, which happened, then sack the auditor general. Because that investigation, from when they don't start until now, nobody no ever call, and the public says have not know anything they happen. But I don't waste my time on that one day. And for you in our studio, you did take after 5 years, you still get the audacity for say now outside and left way. I think also you meet the economy, where you say the economy be shattered, the economy was battered, the economy was everything. I remember that man we come out from England, you know that professor be using big English them per people them. Everybody be think say those English could be transformed to better economic livelihood. At the time when you talk so, a cup of rice now 400 leons. Today, when you think say the system for them better, a cup of rice, basic cup of rice, it's almost 5,000 leons. And it depends on the area we do. Like when we travel go Boydu, na Kaila we Alpha Side no go from where we come from America, a cup of rice is almost 6,500. So when you talk about, I like the way they analyze. When they talk about economy, you drag them down to the issue of education. The cost for school fee, I've said not be this alone, so I understand with them. A cost for school fee at primary school will be just 5,000. The whole year will be 10,000 and 15,000. Now government they pay only 10,000 leons. I've said, if government is sincere about education, When make I know they waste me time for talk about education. If the government, the president show off waiting in again education, don't just if I don't just pass a policy, say if you're not government official, you're not civil servant with a salary of social scale, send you picking go government school. I've said last time you insulting the way we people again at government school. We picking and not even get toilet facilities that then government schools.
Yeah,
and
honorable.
They get for check them, book them. You understand? For go to toilet.
Why some of those comments might be true, but we want for really narrow down to economy, so we'll not just scatter the discussion.
Okay, we know they scatter the discussion, but when you talk about economic diversification, it is so clever for move away from outside and fail when at the education, the economy, and one give a situation as if not so instant. Presidents have to go now the world stage. It says Sierra Leoneans they save up to $5,000. You understand? Out of waiting $5,000 out of waiting them for spend part and picking education and they save. Are you kidding me?
And
whose planet that one day?
And one of the things that I know say the current government also criticized heavily for the wage bill. That's what I want to come to next.
Let me address some right.
And at the council that so the wage bill is something we when we get serious condemnation on, and I know say currently even as opposition, UNASEF don't condemn the government consistently about how big the wage bill be. But for make a point, let me just read directly from JJ Safa enforced speech we make in a parliament as a minister of finance. I'm going to quote some portions of that where they talk about the wage bill. One of the things where it describes it describes as a wage burden that at the time when they come in, they take 55% of the domestic revenue, which was 45% of the recurrent expenditure, and it label them as inefficient for manage. And another thing as well, we also say that as a way for really for sanitize that situation, that they work out wages and compensation commission because of the wide disparity in payments as well. You have been in parliament over the last 5 years. Have you seen significant effort really for transform the wage bill?
That's what happen. Interestingly, Saidu there, I go use them as an example for this one. In 2017, the wage bill was 1.9 trillion. And as he say, that was only on domestic revenue, according to them, 55%, but I will tell you, see, that analysis with GDS will not be correct. 33% of with domestic revenue, I mean, they address the wage bill. As it stands today, the wage bill is 4.8 trillion leons. And sadly enough, what's in do this salary, this wage bill will go up so it's not disparity among every other person who work in the government sector. No. What you don't get in this system, where over the 5 years, where I don't preview to the parliament, you just see people in the same office, the same title, they carry different salaries. Like outside Afaside they work so now, the same office where they work, the people who they work there, where's they pay them? Now they pay Afaside 200%, more than 2,000% now. Outside they meet the papers in 300.
Well, in all fairness, we don't know Alpha in salary. So
no, if we tell I'll make the public know.
Well, we don't want to go to that because now personal information.
Me preview to the information. They just want to make a know. Outside they meet people and they pay people in 3 million leons, for example, then top of the salary then to 30 million leons. So if they find out say the salary they go up, the wage bill they go up, but it's not reflective across.
It's not equitable.
It's not equitable at all. And the sad reality is when you talk about wages and compensation bill, we get until before. Now, in fact, one of the point the way President Bill failed in managing the economy, now the delay, the unnecessary delay in addressing the wage bill and the wage burden. Before it can have power, it campaign on them. Before it can have power, it talk about them. Where it can have power, it increase the wage bill.
Okay.
So more than well, let me land this a big from 1.9 trillion to 4.8 trillion. And only stop there. Now after I don't increase the wage bill, but sadly enough, Usai will they say after side them for come out then tell for they apologize to the people. Imagine the teacher will be they get 1 million leons at the time would be $1.5, $150. Now they get 2 million, but not just $90. So what they don't do, they don't kill the economy. And one of the way them kill the economy, I'll come to for analyze where did these people deliberately butcher our economy.
Alpha Saidu, on the wage bill, like I say, I don't mention GGSFI in estimation at the time when it came into office, and I believe this was the government's estimation on how much of a burden the wage bill was. And the expectation was that UNA go manage them better, but instead wage bill don't triple, and it's coming at a huge cost as well to the economy.
Thank you very much, Jawad. With respect, give me a chance I respond to Abdul Karim quick before I go. And not quick, no more quick, because just like I be telling you the last time, you know, fine, let them mislead the people, we not correct them. Okay, especially where you accuse me.
We also want for enough time for you response.
Now that's how they tell you they respond, they come. The APC not get the moral authority for say anything to we about this country based on the 37 years record. Okay, he talk about the Auditor General.
Now you 5-year record on display now.
Hold on. He talk about the Auditor General report. You know, law left for be deceitful. The politics of deceit is not good. It make you look bad in the eyes of the public. Okay, Abdul Karim know very well say the Auditor General report. No, they ever say this person don't thief or that ministry they don't eat money. So for let's say they will thief 1 point something trillion and lie they lie. Okay, he talk about corruption. In corruption, now the fact that they refuse for check the office of the president. Abdul Karim, you know, for talk about corruption. Now, again, we own campaign document. The Commission of Inquiry prove say you, Abdul Karim, take money from the youth for fishing or fisheries, whatever thing. Okay, you eat them, they ask you for refund and back. Or should say you corrupt, so you not able for talk about corruption. Okay, he talk about salaries. Okay, it is clear, very clear, that where President Bio come, he don't do a lot of things them for harmonize the salary system. He don't set up a commission. He don't set up.
Who's commission and it?
No, he set up a committee, not a commission. He set up a committee for look into that.
Okay, and just for the record, for the last 5 years, every year, except for this last year, Nine puts wages and compensation commission as part of the president's speech. But this is something has been talking about consistently.
Now that's how they tell you. He don't set up the committee
5 years
people
now.
And they look at them. Okay, he don't do something. Now, let tell you the people away President Bill don't hire from where come. He don't hire a little over 10,000 teachers. A huge percentage of that number there. Now people will not be get PIN code. They already did at the system, then they volunteer. He don't hire about 5,000 people who work in hospital, doctors, nurses, and other people for improve the well body business. He don't hire police them. Again, then they are thinking about like then 3,000-4,000 people. Okay, what is really wrong in that? You want to tell me say teachers they're not important? Now, where camp and the wage bill also, this government, you know they hire you if they don't need you. You know they give you work what you not able to do. He talk about we office. The strategic communications unit, now 3 different units them where an escoma being put in Bobo them. Okay, now then they merge to one. Now about 13 day. Okay, now let's show you what team they happen. I make her tell them say they don't get the moral authority. Make them keep quiet. They don't get up. What they talk, they annoy people more.
No. Well, everybody has to be part of the conversation.
No, listen me. No, me they tell them no more say. No, they not get the moral standing for talk.
No,
so make them keep quiet.
Everybody has to.
I go give example. There was what was known as the government spokesman's office. There was what was known as the outreach communications unit. Okay, when are the same people the same people a part of the contract they pay them millions and millions of loans. They also instruct NATCOM for they give them $3,000 back. We they know they do that for we. Okay, now logo on this issue of how they spend the country money. I be don't talk I will talk and back. The Auditor General in report, it emanates from a financial statement prepared by the Accountant General. The Accountant General, not to President Bio, they work for, not to President Bio, they appoint him. Okay? Now, anything we come out, now the Auditor General report, it clearly shows say that you not the hide because now the auditor, now the
All right.
now the paper there, the evidence them, now they look where the auditor general go. Now waiting the financial statement say, waiting the accountant general gam, now they go audit. Now where don't do that there, he go put queries, he go make observations. Then they talk about this traveling and the president in office. Let's just end the day, okay? President Julius Madabio, Vice President Jules Jallo, ministers, deputy ministers, none of them not a signatory to any bank account. Okay? Abdul Karim and so many other people know say President Bio know nothing about in traveling. He don't know whose plane they go pan, he don't know whose hotel they go. Okay? In the president in office, they get a very senior.
All right.
Oh no, I done this. No, you don't
they-
tell them the talk plenty. I don't clarify. Beg. Now 1 minute they take you, they interrupt me. They get a very senior civil servant, what they call the scope. Okay, the state chief of protocol. That position they know they give anybody where they below the status of deputy secretary. Most times if now people them when a permanent secretary and then they give that position they. Now they arrange the president in traveling. Now, if the president not in the book hotel, not in the go pay hotel, how they go get a receipt? How President Bio go bring fake receipt? Una left them talk like that.
Okay.
And when they issue they come,
I'm going to come.
the investigator immediately.
I really want for really narrow this to economy.
No, but
because
he
we
talk-
don't talk about issues
Well,
of
anything he
accountability.
talk, and they respond
All right,
to him.
Honorable AKK. One of the things as well, we government always they use for justify the size of the wage bill now that they don't make a lot of essential employments and based on the expansion and the need for their services and the police officers, nurses, teachers. Isn't that justifiable enough for the size of the wage bill?
I will take you just to a very interesting side. It is 1.9 before they came. And that 1.9 began more police officers than the police officers we employ now. The total number of police officers we employ now 3,000. The total number of nurses we don't employ now about 5,000. The total number of teachers we then say they don't employ, we're not to true again. Now, look for the figures lost in at 10,000, 18,000. You will get over 42,000 workforce.
But you get attrition back. Attrition they happen every year.
Thank you. So what then they do, when people left, people kind inside the day, then they take as employment. That is a sad thing in the education sector. But one serious business way I've aside with and in company, the forceful make the people them think is, if I be there 1.9 trillion in payment, I be get more teachers, I be get more police officers, more other people for manage. Now I employ just 18,000 to the 40-something thousand I be get. Lord imagine say, nobody no left in the last 5 years then come, all you know bidding and then still there. How the money go from 1.9 to 4.8 trillion.
There have been increments in salaries as well.
The increment in salaries, I will tell you one sad realities. The increment in salary they talk about for more than Kana Power not ever reach 100%. So, Lord, even imagine, say, you bring in the same number of people over there at the workforce, when are 40,000, you count another 40,000. The current weight bill will be 1.9, you understand? Times 2, not they take it to 4.8. I am saying here, categorically clear, say, waiting then do, you understand? Now for increased salaries of people when are close friend and allies of the president to thousands of dollars. You understand? And then people in the way they within the government status and now they don't take a huge part of the money, not to the ordinary teachers, not to the ordinary policeman, the way Alpha side they always want to let them know. But let me say this again for the record. The economy of Sierra Leone is battered and it don't die because there are certain key indicators where a country needs for able to war in investors and the private sector. What they come, I listen to when they talk about how the country in economy day. These are the things that are lacking. One of the sad realities where the people here do is they allow the dollar for come out of hands.
Is that really in government hand, really for deal with the dollar? All the factors in at the hand?
Very, very much. Very, very so. Let me tell you what happened. You know, sometimes when people they blame parliament for what they happen at the country, sometimes we as members of parliament can be happy, but the sad reality is in 2019 when we were year of COVID, we tell the speaker and the leader of government business, can you bring us the entire Ministry of Finance, now we get a conversation around the economy. Waiting go happen with the economy. Waiting are the shocks where we prepared. It take we almost 2 years we never get them. But let me tell you what happened. When the COVID struck the one whole world, there was a need for boost the economy. There was a need for boost the private sector. So what in government be agree at the time is now forget part of we reserve of the dollar for going at the hands of the business people. So in with a 0 to 5% tax. So they for give them that money, they for go buy market and come.
I think that was around 500 billion, something like that.
Yes,
was provided.
But let me tell you what they do. Then take their money, then give to micro finance institution like BRAC. You understand? And BRAC come back and tax the business people huge amount of interest. When they do that one, the way it happen now, the ordinary people, the way they go buy markets, the Lebanese man will need dollar for go buy rest, therefore go into a two-step interest. So what they do? There was a more increase in the hardship of getting the dollar to the point that because the dollar shocks in at the market, you don't get back to all the private companies and forgive to the business people. Now there we first get the first shock of the dollar moving from. Let me come.
And I can't to that shock there now because that's what I want for address now. So during our tenure, when I get twin shocks where the fall of the iron ore prices, then Ebola struck. And during this government as well, they don't get the Russia-Ukraine crisis, they also don't get the COVID-19. So there are parallels here. Waiting will be your assessment on how UNA handle UNA own double shock and how the current government handle their own double shock.
I know if you want to spend me time for talk about waiting then the refer to as a double shock. Because when you look at the Ukraine situation and that of Sierra Leone, Guinea is part of that global village world day. As we talk so now, Naya, you understand? 10,000 leones is 18,000 francs. So where somebody gets 10,000 leones, Naya, that money don't mean nothing in Guinea anymore. Are you telling me Guinea is not part of the global market? Are they not affected by the Ukraine and the
They get a bigger economy than we. You know that.
I beg for differ. As far as we are no say
in population, in business size, and everything.
Let me learn. That's why I say the need for begin apologize to the people. With all that factory they try to talk about, say Guinea gets past we. In almost 30 years to 40 years when we don't born Nakambia. This is the first time when the Guinean franc, the value past the Sierra Leonean. At a time where Guinea get a crisis, you understand? When a military government, you understand? Still, the economy is buoyant and is thriving in this difficult world stage. So it's a non-starter. But let somebody tell me, say, the Ukraine and wait for. But I want to tell people and today, say, Afasad is a very honest person. Afasad will be one way as Sierra Leonean say, if we hand over this government to Madabiu, waiting the happen so. He predicted it. And for moral standing, and for the post where he be, if me not be in kind, they cannot resign. Because what you said of him is what is happening. You say you go kill this economy. And that's what it is. Let me tell you why we miss the old shot. If you want to make a country economically buoyant, you don't depend only on government. You depend on private sector, multinational companies for coming. But one of the things where them people are doing in kind of power, you know, then go and look at contracts when companies like Sarah Mines, where we did Lusa, he knows of what I'm saying. You shut them down when you affect an international.
All right. Yeah, just wrap up so I will cancel.
When you attack international corporations, you cancel them. Then wait safe. You allow them to get shocks into them business. What's in the happen? You are also scaring other possible investors. When the security climate, Alpha was on radio. I don't know if you don't remember this. They tell people and say anybody who come on a treat, and not even get the authority. So the policeman and soldier man go fire them. Those all trances for a country where get a dying economic crisis. They push away people. A country will not get good human rights record. Let me land. I beg. I am mid-flight.
You are taking
a country will not get good human rights records. You understand? Not the war investors. A country will get good pipe borne water. Not the war investors. So for me, I think then chap and Saidu, as I always say, for the records, what when I put Nasir about me, is the all them put are not be even work na Ministry of Youth Affairs.
Okay.
So it was a target in futility. Get until they clear.
Let me come to you now. You don't hear some of the points as well where Honorable they make that even talk about the wage bill, even though there have been increased employment when I don't bring a lot of people into the sector, but still that issue of equitable distribution of salaries is something really we don't bloat the wage bill much more than it should have been.
Thank you very much. Let me respond to him. And at the begin first by saying, let we left this deceitfulness. Okay? When the SLPP, we get 4, 5, 6 candidates and the FET for the party flag, and nobody support then presidential candidate Julius Madabio. The essence of campaigning against person, I for let you say team them who go make win. Okay? And that's in America be there. Abdul Karim know that. People and they give me information. Now decide say, la kana salom, la ka ascertain the correctness of them thing and they will be the talk with people and be tell me. Let me say and what come as he say, then thing and they not be correct about President Julius Madabio. That I make a joining campaign, a campaign for I make sure say he win because I don't can see for myself. Saying a lie, there be the lie para. Nothing they will not correct. Now, if Abdul Karim, they think saying about that do, now your business that. Let remember what you know happen even within the young party. With Mohamed Bangua, Sylvia Blinding and others. But I'm not go that way there. Because I be don't decide say that particular issue of the thing that will be talk before I come. And it discuss again. You know why? Because President Julius Madabio. President Bio will be talk about what criticize. In Malanemi, he show me say he get the best leadership quality when a tolerance. Me and they work together or they go before. And to me that is what is important. Okay?
Let's now move to the point.
Now, again, now respond and they respond to him. This economy is not bad right now, like I bad so, based on bad governance. Now lie then they lie. It's bad because they're ruining them. They're rotting them.
What's your assessment of? What's your assessment of? I asked the same question to Honorable. What's your assessment of how Unado will deal with your own twin shocks compared to the twin shocks way APC government being
this economy is bad because the APC destroy them. Then destroy every fabric of this country in development. Then thief the country money. You know what in thief man me. Okay? Now, the APC, again, we have evidence they will use. According to Samsumana, now Aneskoma go bring Ebola because he get financial gain from that. Samsumana say he get the evidence. Now, according to the commissions of inquiry, when a real evidence for this campaign, Yaya Sundufu, what they call himself, CD Yaya Tunis, together with Paulo Conte and others, then conspire they eat $85 million, okay, per Ebola money. We make 3,500 Cylonians then die. Jifa, Ebola na a controllable disease. Now, when Corona came, because President Bio sober-minded, he committed for safeguarding the people of this country. The first way he do, he put in measures before the corona the self. We make the one on wall commend them the way we handle them. Small number of people die, they God sorry for them, but he handle them well. Strengthen with health sector.
You haven't really come to the point yet, and we not get.
But I tell you, they respond to the man.
I know it's taking longer.
You know how to be fair to me.
No, it's taking longer.
Abdul Karim can't mislead people and misset me more.
Alpha Saidu.
Okay.
One for make you do in time.
Now they do
you are taking too long, and we not get time.
So when they shock, then they come. Let's look at what the President Bio do. One, he provides $500 million. I'm glad you want to use self to come to businesses. Abdul Karim they know very well say the economy of this country they in the hands of private people, not to government. Now for that make way an Escoma come emit one bag rest 60,000. Where they go 11 from 250,000 because now private people them. So the only thing government go do that for help them private people they for make the rest stay in this country, and that is what President Bio don't do. Guinea where they get example, so you they get money, you know they serious. Okay, now another thing President Bio do for them business people, and they all aimed at improving the economy. Now that all the tax them, where them people where they order essential commodities like rice, cement, and other things they for pay, he waive the all just for help them. But the people are still they say that the freight charges them that they're very high. Okay, now that money where APC thief, if you've been there at this economy, that debt so they left, if they not be left up, government will be able for them put price down. You know how? When them people and they bring the rest camp, government will be able to buy them, you understand, and sell them to the people them at a reduced price.
Government,
but because they don't thief all that money,
government not into buy rest and sell to
no,
ordinary
I tell
people.
you what the government for been do during them crisis, then shocks, then they will come. Okay, right now the business people are they bring rest. We get the kind of economy where they all over the world. So not to win no more.
Okay.
They call it open market economy. Anybody will get the capacity for other rest, then they tell you they bring a car.
Okay, let me go to you, Honorable AKK. I know you have some points that you want for rebuts. So some of the points as well, we Alpha Saidu will make about the economy and a number of other factors and we point at.
A quick one. Alpha Saidu, by the time we SAP can power, the external debt now be 16 trillion euros. This is now debt for 10 years. We SAP don't can power, the external debt now stands at 40 trillion. So if you say now the money we trust, now make unable handle the economy, well, I not me not use for tell you see the lie.
But you know things as well because the money they depreciate, so that size will increase.
Let me come. At 40 trillion leons, now in the current external debt. Managing the economy, you understand? Now one of the great pillars of President Bio in campaign. Also they go back to Alpha Saidu say, before a kind of power, before it begin leaking on. Now another mind say the things already say, if a way in no say not true. Say what he be tell we try they say President Bio, if we give the country. In the voice of Alpha Saidu, President Bio no able run in family, not to country he go able run. If that is anything for not for believe then 10 and day, nothing follow we believe now because the economy don't go bad now than it ever don't be. If you talk about if not when the now when the country the inflation don't increase, they meet the inflation rate na salon in single digit. Today, now 40% inflation we get. This now the worst economic situation we ever find ourselves in this country. But the good side is also they say Alpha Saidu when it comes to describing the capability and the capacity of President Bio, Alpha Saidu not be perfect, but we not be listening to him. But let me not waste time for that one day. So,
yeah, go on.
You talk about Samsumana. Okay. When you talk, say President Bio not even one in family, you say na politics term.
Well, we not for really let me go personal on the president family.
I will not do it.
All right.
You hear what they say? Yeah. As I the court waiting, if waiting Alpha Saidu to be say, I am a member of parliament. I am limited to what I say. You say Samsumana say na President go mark out Ebola. But when you say President Bio no able handle in family, you say na politics. And the way Samsumana say that one day according to you, now in the deep of the campaign. If you were a serious government, you would have brought him to book for giving evidences because these are Sierra Leoneans can die. But because the government is not serious, you understand everything about them in politics. They already talk now for make politics out of them. You talk about somebody. We also talk about COI. The COI now a product. 90% of what they use now the COI. Alpha Saidu go tell you that now a product of the audit service report. And I tell you say. The audit service report of the SLPP in just 2021, 1 year, not take 2018, will not be 1.144 billion. I not take out, I not count to 2020, now just 2021. The audit report of 2021 is worse off. And this now the audit service report will also indicate say in the office of the president and the first lady, this is the first family, you understand, for the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, they commit a sacrilege. You understand? Long not go into that one day. Alpha Saidu also they talk about the situation where we find ourselves. You know, we economy not to any country where matured in terms of revenue collections. As I talk so where Alpha Saidu do not know, just yesterday in parliament, this government also passed another tax law when at the Finance Act for add more tax burden on the people. Imagine Alpha Saidu may know say if you load na plane for Como America where they come, the number of Sierra Leoneans where they come if not to December, most times if they mboku na 40. Because the tax where we ticket na Sierra Leone is one of the most expensive in the world. and in West Africa in particular. So most Sierra Leoneans, including government officials like Alpha Saidu, if they want to fly, they go Guinea. But yet still, this government, for let you know how inconsiderate they are, they are tax on that one day. One of the things we don't keep we country, we economy running this BNTM, now we internal tourism. As at the talk, so in this new document where they pull now the Finance Act, now they can add more tax to the hotels, the guest house, the Usa side can go, you understand? And also, even the food and drink where people they buy, now fast food is not uncle Asabiam, and no Aiki Waka. You understand?
That's interesting.
So all of them thing there, if you add more tax on the business people, tax now a direct returns on the
yeah,
people.
but on government their own side as well, tax is a sustainable way for raise revenue for them, because it means they go depend less and less on extra cash, donor support and all of that.
Okay, what you they do? You not need for overtax the people, the business people. Because when you do, in a situation like this, when we country, in the Leon don't devalue, inflation now 40%, the highest in the whole sub-region. You understand? Now the same country you get, the president in 5 years don't travel 315 times. And there's nothing to show for it. If you calculate the money where you don't spend in foreign travel, for any time where they travel, let Avasha tell you how much they pay for the flight when they take them out. And let you tell you what it don't count with, commensurate to the money where he fly with. The flight alone, way the money more alone don't spend on the president in travel, he expensive past the one terminal where Avasha they bluff with. So it's not commensurate. So for we, the economy as it stand, for deal with the economy, I said this in 2019, and it's still on my Facebook page, is for let you deal with the economy is not disconnected to good governance. The economy is not disconnected to human rights records. The economy is not disconnected, you understand, to the governance structures that the people they put in place. Right. Just in 2 weeks ago, with human rights record, anybody when an investor, where they out of Sierra Leone, where read with human rights record from Amnesty International, the State Department, EU, and even the recent one where Germany itself, no serious minded investor, no, they take a money cancel loan. And when you not get the one and they, after I do them, the inflation go past that one day.
All right.
The bag of price today is 700,000. It's a shame on President B1
I'm going to come back to you. Let me talk to Alpha Saidu, and these are some of the issues that we Honorable don't put forward, and including how much we are taxing businesses or ordinary people, which is backbreaking now for some businesses. And what's your thoughts? What's your response on how I don't handle some of the situation in there?
Thank you very much. I tell all the one they we call Tenki. Well, I begin to respond to them by saying, waiting Abdul Karim they talk. Where you ask a question, now I they respond to force. And I they make sure say, I answer you question them. All man they hear that. If you know how hear that, he left to you. Okay? I they repeat again. The economy of this country, bad, they say they right now, the struggle, because of bad governance. It is struggle because of what we meet. Okay? And the shock that we come. How if you don't handle them.
Let me ask now, one question. Yes, let me just put this one question. At what point you think, say, we current government go take responsibility for the economy on its own? If 5 years down the line, we still blame the APC for them?
We really take a responsibility of reaction them. People and they see them every day.
When okay? Therefore do so for the economy?
No, we're not going to take blame we're not supposed to take. Okay, and as I tell you, and I also let Abdul Karim and the APC man say this pattern will decide for bring camp at this campaign. Now see the yaya or yaya see the yaya not to Tunis that fundu no give them Tunis them bad name. Now he advise me. No. Now he advise me say what they talk, what ready for campaign. Let we first of all talk who will meet the country. That make we decide on that. And to we who shall meet the country, now the commissions of inquiry, where now a statutory body, when a parliament approve, now they use, now we evidence that.
How does that address now the tax issues?
Okay, fine. Now, from when President Bill come, because of the situation in the economy, he always they reduce taxes. I tell you just to say, when company want to the other rest, then they pay nothing. Government waive that tax day just for help them. When company people with the other essential commodities them, all landing for help them. Okay. Now another thing I want there Abdul Karim know He already know and Bole accept him. Now the fact that when you talk about the government of Sierra Leone, it's totally different from when you talk about the SLPP. You know that. The government of Sierra Leone include APC. So if they can bill go to parliament, okay, when our members of parliament, una all discuss at the end of the day, parliament accept them, a pass. Now all don't do them. There is what is known as collective responsibility. You know, go consider begin condemn parliament or condemn government. You are a government official. Una left them deceitfulness then day. Now, let's go back to another thing we talk about the president in traveling, where he say affect the economy. I put it to Sierra Leoneans that Anes Baikoma, he travel, he waste beaucoup money, 3-4 times more than President Bio. I will show you how. Let's say no, I will show you how. President Bio, from where he come, most of them side the way don't travel. Okay? The one they will invite them, that then they provide plane for them, then with, and other issues. Now, let also tell the people, and because Abdul Karim, he know. The president, not only they determine almost then they give him as per diem. The president, as I said just now, they repeat and back. You don't even know who's playing in the go pan. Not to your own business that. Anytime when the president they travel, now the people of this country now they get the responsibility for handle that building. Now, when President Bio come, he don't meet nothing. Arara, Abiodu, he don't meet Dondo. Now, what does he tell you about a papa? Where can I host? He meets, he hosts empty. In picking them, in wealth, he they look like Koju, then they suffer. Then he come out Nado, he go fend, he bring camp for them. What does that tell you about that papa day? To me, he go tell me say, na good papa that day, na responsible papa that one day. Now, Aneskoma be the higher plane them. He they pay $400,000 for make Abdul Karim then go joyride. Baku, the evidence then clear. Okay? Aneskoma they take 100 and more people. Can them go on joyride.
Now,
President Biono one day do that.
Now that I don't respond to Honorable AKK, we still get for deal with the question of taxation. We are not saying in the states they genuinely use for raise funds for pay other people. But how do you do that and not kill small businesses?
I'm glad what you self talk and say. The only way government they run, government they sustain itself. Now about the tax the way they collect. The royalties the way they collect. Okay? I don't tell you say when this government come, the first thing you do now for increase the revenue base. Okay? Make sure say we're able to collect more money. And I will give you example for let you understand what I mean. During Aneskoma term, this country not ever collect past 1 billion euros per day. Now no more they be able to collect. A huge number of the tax that people are supposed to pay, then they pay them to NRA people them where Aneskoma appoint. When I eat the data, they put them in the pocket. The government, the people, and the suffer. Right now they talk so every day. This country they collect at least 30 billion. Now you go imagine.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yes, go check. You go imagine what thing go happen in a situation. Again, this na respond at the response to am where paid APC agent like Abdul Kamara where they Holland. Go sit down na Holland, he tell people they say, una go attack police them, una kill police them. Okay? We make the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th of August 2022. This country not do nothing. You know, it come to a total standstill. Then una they can begin talk, then talk out they talk. So now make a turn and say, una not get the moral authority. Bumuru una set una mouth by then say, let we show una out for one country. The people and the Siam. Una not get the moral authority. If I were you, now keep you go just keep quiet. Okay? Now, just like I say, now them bad thing they know that they do, now they affect the economy. Now they make people and afraid. Another thing I made people they know, when President Bill came, he found sober-minded professionals, highly trained professionals. Okay? In not like they want Aneskoma be just a key position, they become a party there where they're not even able to do the work where they are hired there for. Not to that kind of day. If highly trained professionals, they look at all the mining contracts there. And before I go any further, I remind people of Sierra Leone, waiting Honorable Alpha Khan say recently in Atonkolili, when I'm a member of the APC, valuable member, okay, we spend $350,000 of EU money for my APC able win election. He say, when in a be mines minister, he decides say all the mining companies there, therefore pay 1% of the money that they make to the communities outside the mine. He said that Anesco massacre immediately. The person will go bring Kaminkailu Masahe, he say let them only pay 0.01 for show you how them people are bad. What they done, then they can begin talk about mining companies. So when they pull the report, they see say all the mining contracts that they were not in the interest of Sierra Leone and its people. So what in government do? Some of them, it just terminates them, defend other people them. Some of them they renegotiate back.
Let me go back to the revenue collection figures and the way they give, because I look at the 2022 budget speech from January to June of last year, we collect 3.4 billion new loans, which is around 300 billion. So, and not really equivalent to that 30 billion a day way they put. If it was true, we should have collected way more than that figure.
Jawad, where government they collect money, I they collect and that's why they spend about.
I'm not denying that. This is not directly from the budget speech.
I want to remember that. I want to remember that. Now let's go forward.
We not question how it is being spent. We question how much is being collected, which you say na 30 billion.
Now I tell you, the government don't increase in revenue base drastically, big time.
Which is not in denial.
Hold on, now don't what they say. Now, when you get a situation we are in, people and they create instability, then they create one at the country. Okay, definitely it will affect the economy. Okay. Now, what do you want? Let the police, now they are the end, do in a situation we are in, jailman they wake in the morning, they light fire at jail yard. What do you want? They talk about human rights record. What do you want? Let police then do. Now McKinney, outside government, after 1 month negotiation with stakeholders, go take in your generator. Okay. Then
I understand that point. Let me just come in.
So how you go call that a human rights violation? Where policemen also protect lives and properties.
I want to also come to Honorable AKK for making just respond to some of those points. As we try for wrap up this discussion because we don't run a bit over time, so we use 5 minutes for really wrap up this conversation. Honorable.
I know say the next possible. We're not going for use COI now. We Now waste of.
Now we evidence out machine.
Okay, let me just allow Honorable for making points.
Sorry.
Go on, sir.
No, as a member of parliament, we like decorum when they talk.
If you're watching also on Facebook, it's an interesting show. Yeah, go on.
We need to talk about, I count all the books then because the evidence I get there's so plenty, but I find that very difficult because Saidu basically is a student today, just a response to it I say. So I find the conversation very much interesting. But I am sure the next commissioner of anti-corruption get for use Saidu as an evidence for most of the things we don't say. Because we are collecting 30 billion a day and all governments publish records as alone. They show you something different from that. First, while you go now, calculate 30 billion a day times 300. Just pull it 65 days, say na weekends. Then calculate that one. They tell me how much salon they get a year. Then you calculate how much it costs per the 5 years. How much you collect. Then you go read within Ministry of Finance they publish. And you go read within the Minister of Finance don't present to Parliament in the last 5 years. I sure see you don't put them in trouble. But I will keep this record tape today for the next anti-corruption commissioner. I'm sure he will call you for letting you.
If I wrong self evidence good day. I'll show you for that.
Well, we're just going by your figures. All right, but it's okay.
I will use your figures in this tape for show Sierra Leone and see. Saidu is a honest man. Already they tell me now almost seemingly the truth. 40% of are true. Where you tell about President Bio to the city the natural. You don't tell about the economy. And the waiting the report and waiting Saidu know not two different figures. But go use your own figures and forget the next anti-corruption commission. You know why government they use COI? Because COI in level, one of the things will be argued about now Parliament about the COI, where my brother perhaps it not be follow that debate today. It is not about winning the instituting this commission of inquiry. But in the commission of inquiry, the proof of evidence It can be, well, I see that Ocean that facing our first side to get because it be the good day and I would say now evidence in a COI because the evidence is not tied down to proofs. But we don't go waste two time for use the COI pardon. We go use the Anti-Corruption Commission because there is a statutory body. If you sure say you get enough evidence, why you want to waste the country money? Why you want to waste for work out foreign judges and pay them? People judges way by themselves then get even corruption records on their head. Now that you go cow it. That's how unfair you were to this to Sierra Leoneans. When you say government, this government they reduce tax on rice, you know, we not be only they reduce tax on rice, we they pay subsidy on rice. Saidu, in 2017, the barrel of fuel in the world was more expensive than now. Now the fuel, I don't want but the fuel now in the world market is low compared to 2017. But that's what happened. What we not do, I also raised this in 2019. What would they calculate the fuel for letting sell them? Now be 6 indicators the fuel get. These are things where they add, tax where they put, where the fuel they come. Say now they how they put for let we able generate revenue. As we talk so now, it get 25 indicators. So the cost of fuel in Sierra Leone is purely made by government. If government reduce, then 25, then 19 tax would they add on the fuel. Would they buy fuel the same 6,000 would they buy them? The world market give you the opportunity. Law say for the sake of the dollar don't go up, you understand? The worst case will go buy them at 12,000.
But will that be sustainable in the long term for the state?
Okay, let's tell you what happen. Let me tell you say it's sustainable because now
because this is something we will not get problem with World Bank. We will not be subsidized rest.
No, I am not talking about subsidy here. I am not talking about subsidy. The difference is in they talk about tax waivers. Tax waivers and subsidies are almost the same. Yeah. Now the level at which you do them. Which are they talk about now? This is not waivers. This is tax put on fuel. You get them? If with the tax, we get 6 tax. You add 19. The fuel almost get for go up. Just imagine like when you did in a studio so you say for you can amount, they forgive you breakfast. After that, then forgive you transport, then forgive you pocket money, you stop the other person can say them for add in rent
and wardrobe
allowance, you understand? Then for add motka for them. The company will find it very difficult for maintenance staffing. So in the case of the fuel, what you get now 25 indicators they don't add on the fuel. Now in naturally now domestic situation make you feel the uside. Again, let me also say when you talk about parliament, say now we all in a parliament. I do not too. Now all in a parliament, and we supposed to take collective responsibility for what in parliament they do. That is in the situation. Let me land.
Okay.
That is in a situation where the parliament is not run by people where I would describe as pure pauperism. Many Sierra Leoneans, including you, don't know say when we they go parliament and when we they debate certain things. You understand? You they see the force in passing them rather than looking at the rationale, rather than looking at the benefit to the people. What it don't affect the SLPP regime, you understand? In all fairness, is the fact say the word pauper, they not only use them, you understand, for better the lives of Sierra Leone, they use them to the point of even ignoring the needs of the ordinary Sierra Leoneans.
And when it comes to complicity as well, one of the things as well, where ordinary people of Sierra Leone will say, for una winner MPs, even when they talk about the wage bill, on a daily or every day, then they can go new commissioner them, new institution and new ambassador them. Una get the right for reject those people and really raise hell about it. I give you this scenario in Ghana. Because the economy got so bad, the opposition make a stand say the government need for deal with the wage bill. So they make a stand say new appointees will not be passed through parliament. And the MPs took a stand until recently. Okay. You could take that stand.
You know, not compare outside democracy to outside you get a military democracy. What you get in Sierra Leone? It's almost a military democracy. In a state where people could be killed, they broad light without trial.
But when I take that stand, I'm sure the consequence will not be so there.
Hey, my brother, Alpha Saidu and I don't tell you my uncle will get a very good relationship. He knows it. I remember standing in the well of parliament for talk about something. The very next minute, asked them, put them down, pull the window them. If I was in that house, I would have been killed by now. And nothing was taken out of my house. It was the same for Mohamed Bangura. It was the same for Peter Yamba. It was the same for Honorable Paul Rokel. So the democracies are different. Yeah, we talk about even the current anti-corruption commissioner. When he passed into parliament, he was not qualified. He don't meet the criteria. The ombudsman, the NEC commissioners, these are people who don't meet the requirements who raise. We were bulldozed. Sierra Leone parliament, now the way for call policeman for going inside for beat members of parliament, now just like what you call anybody in a treat. You understand? So the freedom of our parliament, you know, it's sad why they talk this to somebody we not even understand how parliament they run. But the freedom of our parliament to that of Ghana, you understand? In Ghana, we make it easy for we done. The Public Account Committee, now Ghana Parliament, is controlled by the opposition.
I mean, even the speaker and the opposition get some.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even when the situation was ripe for what we do, you know, we go commemorate the 5 years of the beating of MPs in Parliament. Now they start.
All right.
On the 25th of April.
I'm afraid we'll have to leave it here. I'm afraid
but let me end with this. I want to tell Saidu thank you. Today, he don't do two things for me. One, he don't admit, say, the economy failed. The economy, they only get 40%. We me go get 10% in the economy for President Bio. And secondly, what if he tell we will know today we don't see how we hear.
I'm going to give you 60 seconds for respond and go on.
As I say, I know they talk again about the thing that we talk before President Bio can be president. Because President Bio be talking about it don't malanemi. So if him,
so
we have been criticized, no get problem with that.
So
which one are you on there?
Yeah,
so
but
no,
now because you I do.
No, you say you know they talk about again. So let's move on now.
Now, hold on, but you not sabi me fine.
Okay.
I don't begin talking. We not win election yet.
Okay.
Job no carry. You not sabi me.
60
if you
seconds,
begin
sir.
sabi me, you go know that. Me I not born meat pon am yours. So I not can find gent in at. If you sabi me good, no, you not sabi me. You not small boy, you not sabi me. Now, no, you know, me you know to come people. Now, go this other thing. Okay. Again, them people are not deceitful. Okay? Parliament, as you rightly know, is governed by standing orders. We clearly show you what you for do and how for do. If anybody go attack you now you host, you know what you for do. If you know do and you own business that, pull the evidence them, go to the appropriate authorities. Okay? Again, USA begin at the end. APC not get the moral authority for say anything to SLPP or this government. Now make you listen to themselves. How you want for can direct we where you not get direction and you don't show that pan 37 years where you don't want this country. Okay? Now if they talk about members of parliament, Abdul Karim know very well say now APC now the only delegation would affect physically insensible involved in that. Abdul Karim also know back say SBB Dumbuya. He don't pull param, this param. He make policeman and pull an e. Abdul Karim know very well say SBB Dumbuya when I be speaker. He don't make they don't arrest Rado Yoki, they can go. Now, what our people
so should
understand?
It be an eye for an eye?
Hold on. What our people understand? Hold on. What our people understand? Parliament, like any other place, they get police station there. The police, they get statutory obligation where the people of Ceylon they pay them for. When I for maintain law and order. So
I'm
any member of parliament will misbehave, the police go take appropriate action. If you have a problem with that, go to the police complaint board.
Thank you very
much.
Or
go to the police council.
All right.
No can blame me for that. Now Madabio be go there. You see Madabio go talk to
right.
Where you bring rudeness at parliament, then they deal with you. You will not be suspended for rudeness. They suspend you for rudeness.
I'm afraid we'll have to leave it here. Thank you very much for being here with us. Saidu from the Ministry of Information and Honorable Abdul Karim Kama as well for discussing the economy.